What's up? Today we are starting a new series regarding lifting, strength training called Fixing Your Form. Each one of these videos we're going to go over a different body part and go over the different exercises that you should do if you want to make the most progress with your lifting fitness journey. And we're going to go over the common mistakes with those exercises and how to fix and improve your form so that you actually get a lot out of doing those exercises and get the most out of it. So today we are covering shoulders, covering 5 different exercises, 5 different shoulder exercises, and going over, again, form with them, where you should be feeling the exercises, how to do the exercises correctly so that you can make the most progress on your journey. If you want to see more and more videos like this, please like the video, please leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Doing all those things helps the channel grow, helps more and more people see this information that's going to help them make more progress as well. So if you want others to make more progress, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. So with that being said, the 5 exercises we're going to go over today are going to be 1, side raises. So a lot of people mess those up. 2, upright rows. Yep. People mess those up too. 3 is going to be shrugs. People mess those up. 4, overhead press. Definitely some mess ups with those. And 5, rear delt flies. Those are tough. So first one we're going to get into is going to be side raises. So I got my dumbbells right here. One mistake that people make when they're doing side raises is that they try to go too heavy in weight. So I'm using 20 pounds when I do these. You probably want to start out doing 5 to 10 pounds if you're just getting started doing side raises. And make sure you get your form down first. So like even 20 pounds for me is pretty heavy. So a lot of these different shoulder exercises you don't need to go that heavy with. You can go a little bit lighter weight. But side raises. So I'm gonna show you things that people normally mess up with these, and then go over the correct form, and then go over where you should be feeling them. So when people normally do side raises, oftentimes they're lifting their hand up first like this. They're lifting their hand up first like this, or their arms are just going straight out like that. And while you still can feel the exercise when you're doing it that way, you're not going to feel it quite as much as if you make a few tweaks that I'm going to show you. So first thing you want to do is that you always want to have your elbows going up first above your hands. So you want your elbows to be going up first like that, as opposed to, again, hands going up first. So this is going to allow you to feel your shoulder working more and your shoulder doing more of the work, this side part of your shoulder. And kind of going off that, that's where you want to feel it. Is the side raises are to work the side part of your delt right here, so that when you see someone from the front of them, their shoulder looks nice and round and kind of capped off. So that's what you want to go for when you're going for side raises. You want to feel it right there. So want to have the elbows going up first to feel it more. The next thing is that when you get to the top, you almost want to think about pouring a glass of water. So you're going right here and like twisting your hands up, elbows going up first, and you're twisting your hand this way. So again, pinkies up when you're doing it, makes you feel it in the side part of your shoulders a little bit more. The next thing is that you want to think about driving your arms outwards. You don't want to be like super tucked in like this and having your elbows go up, because that's almost like an upright row and like a shrug in one, and you're going to be feeling it more in your traps than you are actually going to be feeling it in your shoulders. So want to have your arms going as far out as possible, elbows up, and pouring water at the top. So that's how you're going to do it. And then the last thing is that you want to have your lats kind of like flared out when you're doing it if possible. And this is going to allow you to take your traps out of the exercise a little bit more. So most people, if they're just right here and they're going up, it's going to be a lot of traps when they're going up. However, if your lats are flared and you're trying to keep your lats like down and flared and going up like this, it's going to be entirely side part of your shoulder and minimal traps involved. So those are the main things that you want to focus on when you're doing side raises to improve, feel them more and more. All right, number 2 is going to be upright row. So this is an exercise that some people say hurts their shoulders. So if you have some kind of previous shoulder condition or hurt your shoulder before and it does cause pain, I wouldn't worry about it. But I think one thing that people struggle with these, and again, any exercise, especially as it relates to shoulders, is that you're trying to go too heavy. So start with a lighter weight, get the form down, make sure you're feeling in the right areas first, and then gradually go up in weight and reps after that. Oftentimes, if you're going too heavy right away, any previous shoulder injury is going to make it flare up a little bit more if you go heavy. So just keep that in mind. So a little bit lighter weight is always better for shoulders. So with upright rows, one of the main things that you want to think about doing is almost giving yourself a front wedgie. I know that sounds weird and funny, but that's the best way I can describe it. You want to start right here with dumbbells, barbells, whatever it is, and give yourself a front wedgie. And kind of similar to the side raises, you want to be driving your elbows up. The main body parts and the areas you want to be feeling the upright rows are going to be, again, the side part of your shoulders. Elbows are going up like this, so it's going to be working the side part of your shoulder, and then your traps as well. So side part of your shoulder and your traps, that's where you're going to feel a lot of this, and where you want to focus on squeezing and feeling each rep you do. So front wedgie, elbows go up. I would try to hold it for like a half second once you get to the top, and then slowly lower it. So front wedgie, elbows up first, hands down below elbows, squeezing for a half second, slowly lower it. That's how it's done. Number 3 is going to be shrugs. So the exercise that a lot of people do to build their traps, and you just feel kind of swole when you're doing them, you feel good when you're doing them. Oftentimes though, people make this mistake. They roll their shoulders when they're doing shrugs. So they'll shrug up and roll their shoulders back or roll their shoulders forward. And if you do that a lot with heavy weights, you're going to mess up your rotator cuff. It's going to cause injury. It's not going to be good. You do not need to roll your shoulders. There's no additional benefits to rolling and doing all this and getting jiggy with it while you're doing shrugs. So the best thing that you should do when you're doing these in order to feel them and stay injury free, be holding dumbbells, holding the barbell, whatever it is, just go up to the top, squeeze for a half second, slowly lower it. Squeeze your traps, slowly lower it. Squeeze each time. That's how you want to go about it. You don't want to be rolling each time. It's not necessary. And with shrugs too, you can go a little bit heavier as long as you can actually grip the weight. It's not something where it's like the side raises or the upright rows or some of the other exercises we're going to cover where you need to go super lightweight. Obviously you want to use a weight that you can actually feel and control, but with shrugs and traps, it is nice to mix in some heavier stuff too when your body can't actually handle that. So push yourself a little bit more with the weight there and you'll be in a good place and making progress with those. Next exercise is going to be overhead press. So this is a big time exercise people really struggle with, whether it be seated, standing. I'm going to go over what you do if you're doing a standing overhead press. So first things first, when you're doing these, you want to be feeling it like in pretty much all parts of your shoulder, like front, side, but it's mostly the front part of your shoulder that you're going to be feeling it. So when you're doing these, the first step you want to do once you get the weight up to here is you want to think about having your core and glutes tight and engaged. This is going to help that when you actually push the weight over your head, your lower back doesn't get injured. And it helps just to stabilize you more and more as you're starting to lift heavier weight to keep your body stabilized and in a good position when you are lifting. So that's the first thing. You want to keep your glutes tight, so squeezing your glutes. And then core, when I say keep your core tight, that doesn't mean like flexing, like you're trying to like have your abs popping. It means like someone's about to punch you in the stomach and you're getting ready to brace the punch. So glutes tight, core tight, like you're about to get punched, and then you're ready to go and do the exercise. So that's step one. The next thing is that you want to think about driving the weight above your head, directly above your head like this. You don't want to think about pressing it in front of you like this. You want to drive it straight above your head. It's going to keep your shoulders in a more healthy position. It's going to allow you to actually work a lot more of your shoulder, not just this front part. Because if you're doing the shoulder press like this, it's almost like working a little bit of chest, like a standing version of it. And then when people start to press in front of them, that's when they lean back a lot more, potentially hurt their lower back, not get as much out of it with your shoulders. Also, when you're going directly above your head, you're working a little bit more traps in there too. So overall, that's one of the main things that you want to focus on. And then the last thing is where your elbows are when you're doing it. A lot of times people, when they're doing shoulder press, have their elbows like super flared out like this and are pressing. That's going to lead to, again, some kind of injury with your rotator cuff, with your shoulder. Not going to get as much out of the exercise as you could if you just have a tucked in a little bit. It doesn't need to be all the way tucked in like this, because that's going to be working way too much tricep and like minimal shoulder. Still a little bit of shoulder, but minimal. But you want to have it almost like a 45-degree angle right here, not all the way 90, not all the way like tucked in completely together. About 45-degree angle, driving above your head. That's the way you want to go about it. All right, number 5 and the last one, real quick, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, share the video, all that stuff. Number 5, rear delt flies. So these also kind of apply when you're doing cable face pulls as well, these same tips. So when you're doing these, you're doing, I'll go over both of them, cable face pulls and rear delt flies. So when you're going dumbbell rear delt flies, you do want to be bent over a little bit and keep your core engaged again, almost like you're about to get hit in the stomach, punched in the stomach, that's what I mean. And you want to think about driving your elbows back like this. You want to think about feeling it in your traps and the back part of your shoulder right here. So you want to, this is one of the exercises where you do want to have your arms flared out a little bit more, because that's going to allow you to actually feel it in this back part of your shoulder. You want to go a little bit lighter weight with these. You want to focus on actually feeling and squeezing each rep and then going up in weight after that. You don't want to start out going super heavy to where you can't feel the exercise. So want to start off right here. Want to think about driving back, have your elbows a little more flared, driving back, elbows bent like this, and driving back, squeezing for a half second so that you can actually feel this back part of your shoulder working. That's what you want to do. And then slowly lower it back down. So it's going to be like this, slowly lowering it, squeezing each time. Again, you want to feel it in your traps, back part of your shoulder. And then the same thing applies with face pulls too, a cable like rope face pull. You're going to be thinking about elbows kind of flared still, driving it back, and you almost want to like drive it back past your chest, or almost try to drive the rope past your chest so that you can really squeeze your upper back and your back part of your shoulder when you're doing them. So elbows flared, driving it back, elbows back, squeezing for a half second, back to the top. So those are all the different exercises that people sometimes struggle with the shoulder side of things. Maybe you don't struggle with them, but those are some of the things you can do to improve your form and get more out of it. So let me know what questions you have. I'm going to be making a video like this for the next couple weeks with pretty much every single body part. Not pretty much, with every single body part I can think of. If there's any specific exercises you want me to go over, please let me know. And again, please like the video, subscribe, comment. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Until next time.